Started.
Okay, guys. Well, my name is Jeff Sturman, and along with my wife, Ruth, we are the owners of Best Cruises and Tours. And first of all, and most importantly, thank you for taking the time today to attend our Viking webinar. And we've all met Sharon, and I'm thrilled to introduce you to her. She's our Viking River Cruise Regional Sales Manager, and she's going to take you on a Viking journey very shortly. Um, if those of you that don't know us, we are Best Cruises and Tours, full service, family owned travel agency. Been in business 32 years in central New Jersey. We've sent over 70,000 of your friends and neighbors on vacations all over the world. We are very quietly one of the largest volume independent travel agencies in the state. And you may also know us by our sister brand, which is cruises2alaska.com. We're members of the Better Business Bureau. We are rated A+. We enjoy top producer status with most of the major cruise lines and travel suppliers. And our most important endorsements come from our thousands of satisfied clients. Our number one source of new business is our repeat clients and their referrals. And one of our very, very best travel partners is Viking. And Viking, interesting, is a fairly young company. It was founded in 1997 with the vision that travel could be more destination focused and more culturally immersive. And they began with 4 river boats cruising in Russia. That was the beginning in 1997. They have grown exponentially. They have over, I think, 90 ships between the river cruises, the ocean vessels, and the expedition ships. They are among our top suppliers in both river and ocean and expedition. And the reason for that is that they continue to deliver an outstanding all around vacation. They've been rated number one by travelers in both Travel and Leisure and Condé Nast magazines. And Best Cruises staff, my people, including me, we've been on multiple Viking ships, including taking groups on the Danube, the Rhine, the Seine in France, the Mississippi, and multiple itineraries in the ocean, including a cruise I'm taking in about a month. I'm leaving from Barcelona and including Malta, Morocco, Corsica, Rome, Tunisia, Algiers, and Casablanca. That's February 22nd. I'm going. Okay. And Viking has started 2025 with some fantastic offers for savings on all 3 of their groups, River, Ocean, Expedition, and we're going to talk about them later. So now I'd like to turn over our meeting to Shannon, who is going to tell you a little bit more about the Viking vacation experience.
Thanks, Jeff. I love doing these with you and all of the folks at Best Cruises. What an honor for me to be able to speak to your clients. I know that you do such an exceptional job. You are absolutely a top producer of Viking. I think one of the things, though, I love the most about your agency and your advisors is everyone is so well versed and experienced with Viking. And I think you personally and Ruth and even Randy and some of the others have taken more experiences, or at least some of the experiences I've never taken. The Malta trip that you're going to be going on is fantastic. It's a new itinerary that Viking launched. And I have to tell you, I know that really sparked your interest. So have a quick look, folks, that if you're tuning into this and you're looking for something a little unique on our ocean experiences, talk to Jeff about what he's doing and catch up with him afterwards, because that's going to be a really fantastic experience. That's the first time that we've put Morocco on a short itinerary like that. So it's a really neat Med experience. The other thing that I wanted to mention, with you and your team, I want everybody on the call to know the importance truly of working with a travel advisor. So what happens is Viking really views our travel agency partners as our extended sales force. There is no reason whatsoever that you should actually consider calling us and calling our 800 number and finding out and doing all that research. The reason why is because you have a team of professionals at Best Cruises that can help guide you through the experience. Now, we are very, very different from how traditional cruising looks. So everything you think you know about traditional cruising, Viking truly reinvented it. So for those of you that are online with us that haven't actually been on Viking, I encourage you after this presentation, hopefully I inspire you, Jeff inspires you to take a look at how we cruise and to actually put us on your wish list and move forward and place a booking. Any of you that are online that have experienced Viking before, if you want to throw something in the chat for others to see, that's great. We love your testimonials. Our customer experience is truly what really excites Jeff and I when we talk about Viking, because it is such an amazing experience. And through this presentation, you're going to really see the difference of how we cruise versus how the others cruise. But when you're working with Best Cruises, what is fantastic about that is that you have the ability to not only save time, right? Because we know how much time it does take to research. And these folks know everything about us. They live and breathe us, but not just us. They live and breathe us and so many others. So they can really give you that comparison and really qualify and match you to your perfect experience. And by the way, you may have cruised on Viking for something in one destination. You know, I wouldn't be alarmed if someone at Best Cruises, if you were looking at another destination, they may recommend a different way to travel it. They may recommend to travel it by land. They may recommend to travel it by a different line. And that's really the beauty. It would take you years and years to become that encyclopedia of knowledge. So the guidance, the travel tips, because they know all the ins and outs with Viking, the time savings, and the advocacy. To me, this is the biggest piece as to why I think it's so important to work with a travel agency partner like Best Cruises, who's a top producer. When Jeff and his team call me because there's an issue before, during, or after, we're listening. We're listening and we are going to make sure we make it right. We always do that and we try to do our best, but it really, really is important for them to be able to advocate on behalf of you. The amenities that you get by Best Cruises knowing all the best pricing that Viking has, all of the best sales that we have, there's no charge to work with them. But also, in addition, all the additional amenities that they can offer. And you're going to hear about some exclusive offers that they're putting out there on behalf of Best Cruises. And so they always have their loyalty program, which is terrific to build. You can build that loyalty program up through all different brands, not just Viking, but everything also, too, that we have out there in the public. And then also things that we don't have in the public, they're privy of. So that pricing is really going to be very, 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 competitive, I guess is the word I'm looking for, but not really just that. It's just going to be the best value. And I do believe that Viking has just actually tremendous value, and you'll learn about that over the next 40 minutes. So here's the best thing about Viking. And Jeff, I know you're going to agree with me on this one. When you think about Viking, I want you to think about one Viking. I want you to think about this is a cruise line that can take me on all those rivers that are rolling and, weaved in and out of all the European countries, the Nile, the Mekong, Portugal, all that, all those rivers. But in addition to that, the beauty of it is we actually take our river cruise philosophy, how we reinvented cruising, and we actually implement that and weave it and thread it through all of our other small ship cruising experiences. So the one thing, if you haven't traveled on us, or maybe if you've just traveled on river, I want you to start thinking about the other experiences, ocean cruising, 930 passengers. These are small ocean ships. These ocean ships have the ability to dock right in the heart of a lot of these ports that are along the Mediterranean, the Adriatic, the Baltic. You can't really get that on a big ship. There's no tendering, there's no lines, there's none of that hustle and bustle. This really is such a beautiful experience. I always like to say, and Jeff, you know this, I always talk about Viking in terms of being a floating boutique hotel. I really don't like to use the word cruise, and I think you agree with me on that, right, Jeff?
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's very different. This is a way that you can just pack and unpack once, see multiple countries and cities. Most of the time, we're going to be in a new port every single day. And again, really docked, whether it's river, ocean, Mississippi, even the expedition ships right there in the heart. And to me, the value of that, it's really priceless. So small ship cruising, you're going to learn about how we travel. And I want you to know that travel experience is actually threaded through all of these: river, expedition, ocean, and Mississippi. Now, a fun fact about Viking has no inside staterooms. How interesting is that? That really goes to show you this is very different than what we think of when we think of a larger ship, right? Not one inside stateroom on any of these vessels. So let us take you on all the oceans. Let us take you to the last continent. You can explore Antarctica. You can take our expedition ships when they reposition up to the Great Lakes if you want to stay a little closer to home. So have that really neat expedition ship, but taking you through all the Great Lakes, rivers of Mississippi, so much for you to explore on Viking. And you will get addicted to the way we travel. I promise you. There's nothing that beats that small ship experience. We really do love catering to mature couples and travelers. You don't necessarily have to be a super sophisticated traveler. What we're really looking for you to really connect with our passengers and our experience is you having an interest in history, the culture, the geography, you really wanting to learn when you're on board. And more importantly, a very key factor of traveling for you when you travel on Viking should be that the fact that we're destination focused. So we're going to keep you in port longer. We're going to have very extensive shore excursions, really, really giving you that in-depth cultural immersion, that experience that by the time you're done with your journey, you're going to have the best stories. You're going to learn all about that culture, the history. And to me, when you're traveling these other countries, that is such old world history, right? So you're really learning about some fantastic things. The other thing that I really love about Viking when it comes to what we think about traditional cruising, Viking really has changed the game in terms of how we offer our product and how inclusive it is. Now, I want you to know we're not all inclusive, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But what we are is very almost all inclusive. So I'll tell you what we don't include. We don't include gratuities, and we don't include spirits. And there's a reason why we don't include spirits, because we don't believe that we should wrap that into an overall general cruise fare, and that people should pay for other people's spirits. If you're not going to drink, you're not a drinker. If you don't actually drink the gin, the tonics, the vodkas, the martinis, the bourbons, right? So there's a reason why Viking doesn't include that. What we do is by not including that, we're able to keep our costs down, keep our value down, and then giving you the opportunity to customize. And so Jeff and his team can really explain how all that works. The other thing that I think is really neat about Viking, and a lot of people don't know this, is we own and operate. So that gives us the opportunity to really pass along a lot of savings. And Jeff, I know we've talked about this often. I mean, you really can't beat it when it comes down to our value, how we cruise, what's included, the air contracts that we have, and the real low cost or no cost air programs. Really, the savings is really terrific. But I also love the idea of owning and operating, because we really get to control that experience from the inside out for you, right? So we're controlling the experience on board, we're training our staff, and then also when we're on shore, giving you that really great experience. So I just want all of you to know that is really what makes Viking number one. Our crew, our food, our service. You feel like you're coming back to your own home. You feel like the crew becomes family members, but then also how we're conducting the travel experience on shore. So, and the ships are fabulous. What I love also too about Viking is all the ships look the same. So most of the river ships look all the same. The ocean ships look the same. So you don't have to worry about which one you're going on, because it's always going to feel like home to you. The other thing that people love about Viking is that we do not allow children on board. Now, we all love our children. We love our grandchildren. We have our time and our place, our trips that we take for with our little grandchildren, right? But I will tell you that this is terrific, because not having the children on board really makes this a trip for you. You know, it takes one screaming child to really change the environment in a dining room, right? It takes one screaming child in the atrium or when you're sitting relaxing to change that. So here you don't have that with Viking. So no children under the age of 18. We also don't have casinos. And people say, oh, I really like to gamble when I'm on board. I really like the casino. The truth be told is that's a moneymaker for ships. And the second thing that's most important is it really does compromise your experience at times. For us, we're traveling internationally. We're taking you to see these beautiful places around the world. That's our goal. And we don't want you spending that time in a casino. So go play in the slot machines nearest to your home. We don't have photographers on board Viking. So you're never going to have that pressure of like someone wanting to take your photo. We don't have art auctions. We don't charge for wine and beer at lunch and dinner. We don't charge for Wi-Fi. Again, no inside staterooms. We don't have really lines, right? Because small ships, so there's no lines. Everything's very well organized. You don't feel like you're coming off with a lot of other people. It's very very seamless in how we move from the ship to onshore. We don't have formal nights. So on Viking, it's all country club casual. So it's so nice to not feel like you have to dress up and get all decked out. You really can really make this feel like it's a very casual experience. On our ocean ships, we have laundrettes. So you can do laundry every day if you want. Hopefully you're not doing laundry every day. But if you want to pack with the carry-on, sure, do laundry every day. It's complimentary. We don't charge for our spa. The entrance into the spa, no charge on oceans and expedition ships. And we don't charge for alternative restaurants. So really that value in your Viking cruise fare is just tremendous. In addition to the wine and beer at lunch and dinner, the soft drinks, the coffee, tea, and teas around the clock, 24 hours available for you, bottled water in your stateroom when you go out on shore, free Wi-Fi, all of that stuff. In addition to that, folks, you're also going to get one shore excursion for every port that's included, one shore excursion. And what I love about those shore excursions is we really tailor them to all different types of activity levels. So we have usually in the included tours an easy tour, moderate, and so different levels for you to tour on shore. So if we have a city tour, you can choose to take the slower pace tour. If you just want to go at a slower pace, or you don't want to have to feel like you're on the heels of the tour guides, it's really fantastic. So all of these experiences really taking you to experience the ports, that in-depth cultural immersion, the different activity levels, all of these are outlined for the shore excursions. We also have tours that you can purchase. So every day you can do the included tour. And then after that, in the afternoon, after coming back to the ship to have lunch, you can actually do an optional tour, maybe go out to a winery, do a brew house tour, go see the basement of a museum, do a history tour. So there's a lot of choices for you. And that's what I love about Viking, but the ability to also customize. So that's how we really keep our costs at a great price point for you. Keep that value. You can choose to add the optional tours. You don't have to. Some of the others maybe include all the excursions. We choose not to do that. We just want to include the one per port and then give you the option if you want to purchase others. And that's really, again, how we keep those costs down. We're in so many different areas in terms of our river ships. So take a look at this screen right now in Europe, right? So obviously, the Rhine, the Danube, the Seine, the French rivers, all of that, Eastern Europe, we've got you covered. We also have you covered on the Douro River. We have you covered on the Nile. This is one of the biggest things happening right now. We have a 499 fare. We have all great offers coming into this year. So keep an eye out for Egypt. If this is something on your wish list, we want you to be thinking about it. I was telling Jeff earlier that we have some really cool pre and post extensions that are going to be available to you for the Egypt experience. One that's going to take you to Athens to do an ancient Greece civilization as a pre or post extension that you combine with the Egyptian Nile tour. And to me, what a great combination, right? You can maybe even pick up an ocean cruise from there out of Athens. So you've got a lot of options there. Far East, so we have the Mekong, Vietnam, 2 new ships. In Egypt, we'll have 10 new ships in the next few years, and we have 5 already sailing. And then, of course, the Mississippi. So today, our goal is to really bring you into the world of Viking, get you excited about all these different itineraries, Jeff and I really want you all online today to really create your wish list. So if you've done a river, I know I'm confident I'm going to tell you about another river that should be next up for you. If you've done an ocean cruise already, I'm pretty confident we're going to share some itineraries with you today that will really help you create your wish list. Now, with Viking, if you haven't sailed on us before, I will tell you we do sell out pretty quickly. So we are a cruise line that you want to be thinking about your 2025 plans immediately if you haven't booked anything already. If you already have your 2025 plans, you should be really booking right now. Even though you already have a cruise on the books, you should be thinking about 26 and 27. You want to lock in the dates, the itineraries you want. Some itineraries we don't run as frequently, we don't have as much space. So, really, really start planning. And you know, our cancellation fees are really great. They're $100 per person up to 120 days prior to your sale date. So you do have that option to cancel if you need to. It's just more important to hold your space, and that option to hold some space in some cases is just, you know, it's $25 per person deposit. So we're going to talk a little bit about river cruising, 190 passenger river ships, floating boutique hotels. If you haven't river cruised, this needs to become an item on your wish list right away. You're traveling the medieval waterways. You're going to see castles and cathedrals. The landscape is amazing. And a lot of these river cruises will start at a very, very big, iconic city like Amsterdam, Basel, Switzerland, Prague, Budapest, right? You've got, you know, Paris. You've got these cities that anchor these river itineraries. And why is that so important? This gives you the opportunity to add pre and post extensions to create these really amazing land opportunities. So you'll say, go into a hotel for 2 nights in Amsterdam, then take a river cruise down the Rhine River, end in Basel, Switzerland, and then maybe go to Lucerne for 2 nights to a hotel or to Lake Como. The most popular first time river cruisers always are the Rhine and the Danube rivers. What I love about these rivers are those extensions that you can put into play for both of these rivers in these iconic cities. The one that I want to highlight is in the middle, the Danube. If you choose to do the Blue Danube and you want to go to Vienna, that's on your wish list, Budapest, you want to do those quaint German cities. Regensburg, for instance, is a medieval city that was untouched in the war. It's absolutely fabulous. But if you notice in the middle, on that middle map, Prague. If you're going on the Danube River, you want to do Prague. Randy actually just escorted a group, and she started in Prague and then went down the river to Budapest. Now, the team at Best Cruises are constantly putting stuff together for Viking and escorting trips. But I got to tell you, folks, now is the time to really start thinking about what you want to do and really consider placing and booking that space. If you think about what's happening right now with trends in travel, and Jeff, you can agree, people are traveling. They're traveling, they're booking 2, 3 trips. So we want you guys to make sure that you're getting what you want. One of the itineraries that we're highlighting here to the far right on the screen is the Grand European Tour. If you haven't river cruised and you have time, I really want you to think about doing Amsterdam to Budapest or Budapest to Amsterdam. Why I love this itinerary is it's 15 days. It gives you the Main-Danube Canal, meaning you get Nuremberg, you get Bamberg, Würzburg, you get all that middle of the connecting river, the Main River, that connects the Rhine and the Danube. So imagine for 15 days, you're going to conquer the Rhine, the Main, and the Danube. You can even add Prague if you want to. And a lot of times we'll offer free air on that program too for the Grand Euro. So you save a lot of money and it really gives you the opportunity to get both rivers in at once. So these are our first time river cruisers, but I got to tell you, our river cruisers also love these. So if you've already done the Rhine or the Danube, if you like wine, absolutely Chateau Rivers and Wine in Bordeaux, round trip Bordeaux, fantastic experience. You'll love the wines of Bordeaux. I personally love French wines. What I really love about it though is you are on these, you go out and experience the vineyards. So you really get to experience a lot of the French countryside. And it's just an absolute fabulous area. My all-time favorite, though, in French rivers, believe it or not, is the Rhone River, Lyon in Provence. A lot of people don't think about this river first off. I will tell you, if you want this to be your first time river, because you've always wanted to go to France, you can do a pre or a post in Paris if you want, and then you take the high-speed train to Lyon. You can do, you'll experience Provence, all the French wines, the lavender fields, Avignon, Palace of the Popes. You can also, if you want, do France's Finest, which connects the Paris and the Heart of Normandy experience to the south of France for 15 days, sort of like that Grand Euro, but in France. So lots of options that the team can help you with at Best Cruises. Jeff and Ruth did a fantastic experience in Portugal on the Douro. I know, Jeff, this was, you came home from that and you were like, yeah, that was one of my favorites. You
It
really,
really
really
was.
enjoyed it.
It really was. And we started actually with 2 nights in Madrid through Viking. So flew into Madrid. We did 2 terrific nights, and then hopped a little plane to Lisbon. So we had 2 nights in Madrid, and then 2 nights in Lisbon with the sightseeing. And then we went down to Porto and did the 7 night cruise, which went actually all the way east into Spain.
Yeah,
And
to Salamanca.
yeah, and it was just one of the, and we're pretty well traveled. It was one of my favorite trips. And the people in Portugal are just wonderful. They actually like Americans, believe it or not. So it's, it wasn't just, okay, we like the American spending and so forth. They actually was a delightful place to travel. We had a good sized group on that trip, and it was great. It was
And
great.
a beautiful European city too. Lisbon, having the oldest bookstore, those pre and post that you can do, like you all did in Madrid. You could do the road to Santiago. For that Provence itinerary that I was talking about earlier, you've got, all that gastronomy happening in Lyon because it's culinary capital of France, but you also have the opportunity to do Barcelona, Geneva, the south of France as pre and post extensions, and then of Paris. So can you imagine putting that together, Paris, and then going to either
Hmm.
Geneva or Barcelona? I mean, these are just that's what I want you all thinking about when you're talking with Jeff and his team, and when you're thinking about what you're doing before and after, and how making your most of your time out in these parts of the world. I mean, we know you got to fly out there or take some time. Please, make sure you're utilizing that right. Paris and the Heart of Normandy is another fantastic. If you love history, this is terrific. It's round trip Paris, so you've got everything: food, shopping, the sights of Paris, super iconic, right? But then we take you down the Seine River, Giverny, where Claude Monet spent most of his life. You can go and do Versailles if you want, Rouen, and then we spend a full day out on the beaches. I know your team did this one as well, and people love that. It's really moving, the history on this tour at the American
Very,
Cemetery.
very moving that the Normandy part with the cemetery is very moving.
Yeah, really unbelievable. And again, as I said earlier, you can connect this itinerary with the south of France and do France's Finest. Capitals of Eastern Europe. We launched this itinerary. It's such a fan favorite. We don't operate it all the time, but I got to tell you, 17 days. I know it seems like a lot, but trust me, you're going from Vienna. You're going from Austria to Hungary. You're going to hit Serbia. You're going to hit a port in Croatia. Belgrade. I don't know if you've ever been to Belgrade. Oh my gosh, what a classic, beautiful, authentic city. You'll have the opportunity to, experience Romania, Transylvania, Bulgaria, and then go out to the Black Sea. Love that. So definitely take a look at that one or some other versions taking you on the eastern part of the Danube. The Elegant Elbe, I love that river too. Dresden is a wonderful port. You can experience all the history of Martin Luther here. And then also, Dresden is the oldest Christmas market. So, leading me into this slide, which is if you want to do some of our Christmas markets, you go in the month of December and you can experience either the Rhine, the Danube, the Seine, the Elbe River. All these markets light up. You pack an extra suitcase with bubble wrap and only bubble wrap because you're going to be buying all your holiday presents here. I promise you. You're going to be buying the scarves, the gloves. It's just really just amazing. People love this. And we alter the itineraries, and we're really adding in some more evening sailing so that you can see the markets all lit up. So that's really perfect. So that's our European cruises and the Nile, and so forth. We'll see a little bit more on that. I did want to highlight Mississippi. Jeff, you and Ruth took a bunch of people on the Mississippi River, and
Yeah.
totally neat, close to home experience, right?
Yeah, we loved it. It was so well done. The ship was terrific. The itinerary was great, and we wound up we started in Memphis and wound up in New Orleans, and we had a couple of days in New Orleans at the end, and it was fun. It was just the trip was easy and fun, and you're in the United States. And we had a very nice sized group on it, and we quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's America's Great River filled with history, Vicksburg. So that lower part of the Mississippi is really neat. And Memphis, New Orleans. You have, Baton Rouge and all that, right? And then the upper Mississippi is like St. Paul to St. Louis. And if you're really adventurous, folks, you can do 15 days on America's Great River or even 22 days. So lots of options for you here if you want to stay a little closer to home, learn about America's greats like Louis Armstrong, Elvis Presley, all that stuff. The Mekong, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand. What an awesome opportunity. Just 82 passengers, these ships are. And Viking has new ships here. So we have a brand new one, another one coming. And I got to tell you, having a new ship in this humid region is really important. Plus that Viking experience. We've been on the Mekong for quite some time. It's really, really terrific. So definitely reach out to the team on this if this has been on your wish list, or you're looking for something new and exotic. That's the one. That's really terrific. We also have a Mekong really great promotion. So keep an eye out for that. And also the Nile. We have a great promotion I was saying earlier on this as well. 82 passengers also on the Nile River ships. And what's cool about this is you actually fly into Cairo, you spend time on land in Cairo, and then we fly you to Luxor, and then you do the Nile, and then we fly you back to Cairo. So I love that, because there's so much to see. It's not all that, these iconic sites that nobody can really understand how they were built, right? It's just so fascinating. There's such great things outside of Cairo, and so you don't want to miss that. So this is a great opportunity. And again, I had mentioned earlier about that some new pre and post fully guided experiences that you can combine with that. So keep an eye out for that. Talk to the team at Best Cruises. One of the things I always love to highlight, Jeff, is how awesome our ships are on the rivers because they're so light and bright, right? So nice to have all the light timbers, the bright spaces, the floor to ceiling windows. That is Viking. Every ship, we always have floor to ceiling windows and that ability to really see that destination. Really, the destination is the most important thing with us. And we also have the Aquavit Terrace on our river ships, which is an alternative dining experience, which is kind of like a garden cafe. There's an al fresco area to it. You can eat right off the menu there. So if you don't want to eat in the dining room, you can head up to the Aquavit Terrace and have a meal right off the menu as well. The dining room is open floor plan and it really is beautiful with no obstructions. So it's very open. You can just look around and you're just seeing the destination for wherever you sit. And I love that. Our staterooms too are very clean, very sophisticated, streamlined, clean lines. You'll see the light timbers. I love the light brightness of our rooms. And our verandas are 205 square feet, so they're quite large. We also have double A suites, so 2-room suites, which is kind of unusual on the rivers. And we have our Explorer suites, which really offer a tremendous amount of space. But we take a lot of attention. We pay a lot of attention to the details. On all of our ships, we have the heated floors, the no fog mirrors. This is ocean and river. So we really, really do also provide larger bathrooms and showers stalls. The way the doors fold in, it really allows for the bathroom to feel a lot larger when you're not in the shower. Little things like that really make a difference with a stateroom. The heart of the ship, though, is always the lounge. This is where everybody congregates before dinner for port talks, language lessons, cooking demonstrations, whatever we're doing. Everybody's all gathering here, either at the bar, which is on the opposite side of this lounge area. You can see all the beautiful intimate seating areas. We have trivia contests, destination performers come on from the port. The cuisine on Viking, we always make sure we're featuring the region. So we have regional wines, regional dishes, just, never ever compromising that experience of the region we're in. So you can always have your favorites, American classics, but then we always on the menu have a whole page dedicated to the region. So I also love that. By the way, I don't know if you know this, Jeff, but we were voted #1 with food and wine. So that says a lot for culinary experiences on shore, but also for what we're doing in our dining rooms, making sure, everybody is really getting a taste of the region. The sun deck is another lovely space. If you want to buy wine in port, you can come back with your wine, your alcohol. We uncork your wine at no charge, and you can get some delicious wine in these ports. So that's a little snippet of our river experience. I'd like to take you on our ocean experience, and then after this, we're going to do a quick look at expedition. So really showing you today the world of Viking, really hoping you're going to create that wish list for the next few years with us. The ocean ships, as I had mentioned earlier, again, no inside staterooms, no kids, no casinos, but tons of amenities, right, Jeff? I know
Oh,
you've taken several ocean cruises with us. You're not compromising amenities.
no, it's just terrific. And without having I mean, casinos some people like, but without having the casinos and focusing more on where you are, what you're doing, and where you're going, it's just you guys just do that in a terrific fashion.
Yeah, I know you always tell that story about when you were doing In Search of the Northern Lights and you couldn't believe the historians on board and
Yeah,
the
yeah. So just real quickly, so we did a cruise on Viking. Seeing the Northern Lights has been on my bucket list for I don't know how long. And as you know, we are Alaska specialists. I've been to Alaska 42 times. I've been to Alaska in the
unbelievable.
winter. I've been to, we take groups to Alaska, and I've never seen the Northern Lights. So we took a specific a cruise on Viking, which is called In Search of the Northern Lights. And of course, you're heading up into the above the Arctic Circle in January, late January was, and into the North Sea. And you had to sign up for this, because you're not wearing your bathing
No.
suit. Anyway, so on the ship were three lecturers. One was a photography expert, and the photography expert taught us how to take the best pictures of the Northern Lights, whether you were using your iPhone or you had extensive equipment. So he did a lecture, and then he did two lectures, and then was available for for private discussions as well. And then the other lecturer was a historian who just went the whole Viking history of how far they traveled in these little tiny ships all the way to Constantinople, which is Istanbul now, and going west to the United States. What is
Unbelievable.
the United States? Newfoundland and so forth. And then the third lecturer was a science lecturer about the Northern Lights itself, how it's created and the whole. So it was just this is just one example on a one destination, how Viking is so culturally immersive. It was just terrific.
And people do label us as the thinking person's cruise primarily for that, right? So whether you're on ocean or river, we're going to take such great care in making sure that you're really getting that full experience and you're learning about that history of that culture. A lot of times before you even get there, you're going to be so well
Yeah,
versed
but
by,
and not only that, there was entertainment as well, Shannon. So
yeah,
it wasn't just a dry
no,
educational. There
we
was
have our shows.
entertainment and there was fun and dancing and
Yeah,
it was just a great mix.
yeah,
And that's not
yeah.
just and that's not the only trip we took, but we only have
Yeah.
limited time here, so it was
Yeah,
just
thanks. So I appreciate you mentioning the entertainment because we have our Star Theater, we have our Vikings Tours Haven, where we have our Viking band, we have lots of different nooks and crannies. Explorers Lounge, we do amazing trivia every night. So a lot of people do trivia and then try to get really quickly to the Star Theater. So there is a lot going on. It's just really at a beautiful low key pace because we're not looking to have all the big shows like the bigger ships have. We have a lot of Scandinavia itineraries, iconic Iceland, Greenland, as well, taking you from New York and experience Iceland and Greenland. I love this itinerary. So it's New York to Reykjavik, so only one flight. So you can depart right out of New York. Really great opportunity. Into the Midnight Sun, which is very similar to what Jeff was talking about, British Isles Explorers, lots of Iceland trips. We have really neat Mediterranean trip. We have do all of the Med, all different ways. The Greek Isles, just the Adriatic to the Greek Isles. So like Venice to the Greek Isles, or Rome to the Greek Isles, or Barcelona to the Greek Isles. So you've got so many different ways you can see the Med. But my favorite here is this Mediterranean Odyssey itinerary going from Venice to Barcelona and then experiencing the south of France and then pretty much, Rome, Florence, Pisa, Naples, Pompeii, the Straits. So if you haven't done that Western Med, I really recommend this because then we go up the Adriatic and you go to Croatia and Venice. So that's this middle itinerary, Mediterranean Odyssey. We love Scandinavia, so our Viking homelands, taking you from Norway through the fjords into the Baltic. Again, another point to make is like, when we're going to Stockholm, we're in the old city. We're not going to take you to a cruise terminal. You don't have to tender with us. So these are really great home runs for you, really adding to the value of that experience with a small ship. Australia, New Zealand, Bangkok, Bali, and beyond is a huge favorite. Singapore, Bali, and beyond we have, which is new. Grand Australia circumnavigation, which is a really neat itinerary that goes all around Australia. So if you don't want to do New Zealand, this is a great opportunity. We have Caribbean, West Indies, Panama Canal, South America, Chilean fjords, Amazon in the Caribbean, Alaska. So a lot of opportunities. China. We went back to China this year. My friends here at Viking, a lot of us had the opportunity to go to China. And this is not the Yangtze. A lot of people think of China and the Yangtze River. This is the coast of China. We do a really neat China Japan combo too. So reach out to the team. If you're thinking China, this is an awesome, authentic Chinese experience. And you'll actually get some neat little flair on board Viking too, with a little Chinese twist with its cuisine and stuff. So really neat. We actually, it was so popular, we brought it back for 2025. So we want you thinking about that. You can see with the ocean ships how that residential design really comes into place here. So really works out great for longer itineraries, especially, right? You feel like you're coming home to your own living room. There's nooks and crannies throughout the entire ship. That's just, little places where you can tuck yourself away, read a book. We have classical music that floats throughout the vessel. Jeff, spoke about our historians on board. You have destination performances as well, dancing, trivia. The Broadway shows are terrific. You can see how the spaces have these floor to ceiling windows, which we love. Again, all throughout the vessel. The Winter Garden is a great place for high tea. And this area comes out into the retractable roof swimming pool. And I want to take a note here, Viking stays in the Mediterranean in the winter months. So a lot of cruise lines pull their ships out and they put them in the Caribbean. We keep ours there. So if you don't want to go to Europe in the heat, I encourage you to look at all of those itineraries: Greek Isles, Adriatic, Croatia, Venice. the Western Med, Rome, Barcelona, south of France, all of that, right? Look at those itineraries in November and December, even some in late October. Great value and giving you the opportunity not to be there in the heat, as well as with all the kids and all the other people, the tourists in the summer. And that retractable roof comes in handy because then you can still swim in the swimming pool. So really neat, no charge for the spa. We have a beautiful spa and lots of different rooms off the saunas, steam rooms, snow grotto, really terrific opportunity for you, plus all the treatments. That the treatments aren't included, but no charge for the spa. So hopefully that gave you a little glimpse to all that you can do with us on Viking Oceans, all 5 oceans, and World Cruises. So if you're interested, we just actually launched our next World Cruise. So all that's on sale for you. If that's something that you want to think about, definitely let Best Cruises know, and they'll walk you through that. With the expeditions, this is our last travel experience that we're going to share with you. Again, remember these 2 expedition ships, they look the same, the Octantis and the Polaris. They go to the Great Lakes, which is terrific, right? Now, I really don't want to talk too much in depth. If you have an interest in expedition, what I want you to know is that Viking built these ships in 2022, giving you the ability to explore the world in comfort. So you can go to Antarctica, you can go to the Arctic. You can also go to the Great Lakes on these. But what we really, really encourage on board our Viking expedition ships is the scientific experience. You're going to have ability to work with researchers that are actually doing field studies with Scott Polar, Cornell Lab of Ornithology. You're going to launch a weather balloon with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association. So all of these things, that's the first time they ever allowed a civilian ship to launch weather balloons. Imagine being a part of that in these remote destinations, especially. Even in Great Lakes, I hear so many amazing things about the shipwrecks, all the things that they're learning about the ecosystem in the Great Lakes. So really, the science that you're getting on board is terrific. And you can see how beautiful and modern these ships are. I mean, absolutely stunning. Fire pits, spa. So all those amenities that you have become familiar with on the larger ships or Viking Ocean, you're going to have them all here. The retractable roof swimming pool. We have beautiful swimming pools outside, a spa, multiple dining venues here. So on Ocean and Expedition, you have all sorts of dining experiences, multiple choices, up to 8 choices on Ocean. And again, that science. But what makes this ship super special is all the toys. So we have Zodiacs, kayaks, submersibles, special operation boats. These are 12-seater, 2 of these 12-seater special operation boats. They actually come up and live in the ship, all of this equipment. But these boats are great for you. If you were like, I don't know if I want to do it, I don't feel like I want to be that adventurous. Viking is the way to see these destinations because you can actually take out the special operation boats. And that really is just another way for you to experience it, but not having to be in a Zodiac the entire time, right? So that is really exceptional. And that's really what Viking did is we created this expedition experience really for everyone. So we encourage you to really think about, considering us for that, that expedition, a little bit more adventurous. Again, small ships, science, and all that stuff. So Jeff, I just wanted to take a moment and thank you so much. Our crew is our best sales force. They are always what keeps everybody coming back to Viking because their service is amazing. So we thank you. I thank you, Jeff, for allowing us to speak to your customers, talk to them about the world of Viking, get them excited to travel this world. We really appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Shannon, and thank you for this wonderful tour. We appreciate you.
Yeah, well, thank you. And so we really appreciate you as well. You're our top producer. There's no doubt about it in this region. And we can't thank you enough for your support and your knowledge of our experience. So, with that said, I and Jeff wanted to talk to you really quick about our awesome Explorer sale that's happening this month and our Your Choice sale. This is something I haven't seen that Viking has offered. In the past, since I've been with Viking for many, many years, we've never done the combination of the gratuities and the silver package complimentary. So we have a Tour Choice sale where you can choose complimentary gratuities and silver spirits package, or up to a $500 per person shipboard credit, depending on the length of the sailing. It starts at $250 per person, then it goes up to $375, and for longer sailings, you'll have the opportunity to save or to gain a $500 per person shipboard credit. Or if you're a past passenger of Viking, we're offering double past passenger rewards. So Viking is really excited to bring this new year to you. We really are encouraging you to, you can use this sale for multiple bookings, for one booking. If you already have a booking with Viking and you're looking to make a new booking for 26 or 27 or another one for 2025, you can take advantage of our Your Choice sale. And Jeff, we always talk about this. When it comes to Viking, if you have a booking with us, it's normal to have another one for the following year. What we always encourage is our Viking guests to actually have more than one, because we don't have the space, right? We're a small ship. So we really want you locking in to that second sailing so you get that space, that itinerary. And the deposits are $25 per person. And if you add a second sailing, so if you have a booking on the books with us that you haven't taken yet, and you're ready to book your next one, say under this Your Choice sale, you're going to get a 6-month pay in full date. So you don't have to give us your final payment until 6 months prior to your departure on that second cruise. So there's a lot of past passenger book more, save more promotions. The team at Best Cruises knows all about this.
Yeah.
However,
I wanted just to, Shannon, also, folks have to remember that these are 930 passenger ships. They're not 4,000, 3,000, 4,000, or the Icon is close to 6,000. So these ships, and the river cruises are 190 guests. These vessels sell out quickly. So at the risk of sounding like a salesman, if we are interested, we should move. So we also have our Best Cruises special sauce,
oh
which
yes,
which which is over and above the Viking, all that great stuff from Vikings. So whatever Vikings very best offer that we can get for you is we have an additional $400 off for the booking, plus $100 per person shipboard credit, a $600 value. And we've noticed that there's free air on certain itineraries, and or reduced air. So this is our Best Cruises special sauce. This is good through the end of January. So
yes.
just to repeat, we're going to get Vikings very best, and we know how to squeeze whatever juice there is. Vikings best price, and on top of that, we're going to get you a $600 value for the stateroom. So
it's unbelievable. I've never seen this type of offer, because ours is so strong, and then this is amazing that you're doing $400 off. That's off the cruise fare plus another $100 shipboard credit. So the value is really terrific here, folks. We really, hope you think about what's next for you. You're creating that wish list. And we really encourage you to call Best Cruises and book that second cruise or book your first one. And if you've never sailed on us, we are so excited to maybe have some new guests on board Viking.
Well, I want to just take this opportunity to thank all of you who attended and tell you that we really appreciate, and we took a look and everybody stayed.
Yes, thank you all for hanging with us. Yeah.
And when I get off, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to get a nice glass of red wine.
I'm going to go pick up my child.
All right, guys, I want to thank you again for attending. We really appreciate it. We hope to hear from you. We are here at that number, and we'll look forward to getting you on Viking.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you and have a happy 2025. Good luck to you and happy
Bye-bye.
travels. Bye, Jeff.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.